Welcome everyone to Stafford Speedway for the 8th event of 2024 with the Street Stocks headlining the action with the Midstate site development Firecracker Street Stock 30. This pit preview will focus on the Street Stock contenders as they prepare for their big event.
Last week we were good the beginning half of the race. We just after he had passed me, my car got loose and I'm not sure exactly why. I kind of think the right rear tire just went away. Just need to be a little bit more consistent throughout the 20 laps. Instead of being good in the first half, be good in the second half, I guess.
Now you got 30 laps tonight. How do things change, if at all, for a 30 lapper compared to 20?
We might just take a little more time trying to get to the front. Maybe wait till like lap 15 or something to try to work a little bit harder at it and try to stay out of the wrecks. I'm sure there's going to be more cars here tonight than normal. Just because it's the Firecracker 30 and a lot of extra cars come, so we'll just try to stay out of trouble and wait till like lap 15 and then go for it, I guess.
I'm not trying to jinx you, but you've been on a pretty good streak with these podium runs. What's been different this season with y'all?
We've been just trying to stay out of trouble. We've been lucky. Doesn't seem to be as much chaos as there normally is. So we've just been trying to just stay out of trouble and stay there, and not really worried about winning as much as we are just finishing.
But what would it mean for you to win this event?
It would mean a lot for me. It would mean a lot for the team. It's an extra distance race. I've known Glenn Corner my whole life, friends of the family and stuff, and it'd mean a lot to me to win a race that he sponsors for sure.
We had 3 bad weeks of races, getting tore up either right in the beginning of the race or right at the end of the race, and we spent those week offs putting the car back together, so we really needed that run, and it was a little unexpected, but we led some laps and everything, so at least we got a little bit of momentum coming into this race.
Why was it unexpected?
Well, after the last 3 weeks of getting wrecked, you kind of just expect to get wrecked. So when we were running good, it was some relief.
Now, it's going to be the last feature of the night, so it's at night, similar to last week when y'all ran late. What do you need from the car in terms of handling night conditions compared to normally daytime or twilight conditions?
I think we're going to have to tighten the car up a little bit. I think it's going to be kind of loose. The temperature's much cooler today. We're going out with new tires, which I'm assuming most of these guys will have new tires on tonight. So we'll see how it goes in practice, but it's going to be totally different for the feature time. So after practice, we'll sit down and figure out what we're going to do for the feature.
How does the approach change for 10 extra laps?
Not much, because there'll probably be a lot of cautions mixed in between. So I say we'll kind of just play it out and see how it goes. But I think there'll be some cautions. We went green to checker last week, and that was kind of rare. So I think the cautions will be out there tonight.
You haven't won yet. It's always nice to get that first one, but how big would it be to get the first win in this event?
Well, that would obviously be huge. There's some big guns out there, and I'm sure there's going to be some extra ones tonight. So yeah, it would be huge. But we try just as hard for every race, and we'll try just as hard tonight.
Really needed a caution, but come to find out the next day we had a flat right front, so it was going down at some point. So I guess we were just holding on, but a caution or two would definitely help. We seem to get better as that happens. So
now 30 laps tonight. How do you approach it compared to a 20 lapper?
Just got to be even more patient. I mean, this year we've taken a big swing at the patience and just letting it come to you, and tonight's going to be more of the same.
It's probably going to be a bigger field. You're probably going to see a bunch of competitors as normal, if not a couple more. So how do you prepare knowing that with more money on the line, you might see newer contenders or more contenders than normal, and that might throw a wrench into how things go?
With us, it don't matter about that. We're going to just keep at it, pick them off one at a time and run what we got. Don't go crazy.
I know it's early, but do you look at points?
I'm keeping an eye on them. You can't get too far behind. You got to establish some good baseline. But, I'm not really too concerned right now. But, things change.
How big would a win be tonight?
That'd be real good. The Midstate race, I work for them. That'd be a good night for Glenn and everybody. I appreciate them putting on the event. And, we're going to give it hell.
Yeah, I like to say I don't look at the points, but I look at it every week before I even really get home. I'm unloading at the shop. Points are updated. I look at them. I've just been quietly consistent. I mean, I wish I was up there every week battling for wins and, podiums, but finished top 10 every race, just picking away at it every week and doing what we can to make the car as good as it can be and just being smart.
How do you approach tonight's 30-lapper?
I think it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be a chaotic race. I'm probably going to try to be smart for the first 15, 20 laps and then go from there and see what the car has left. I know it could kind of fall off a little bit or it could stay consistent and good, so we'll see what happens.
Handling-wise, what more do you need?
We've been battling a tight car for the first couple races. I think if we could find the balance of, where I'm comfortable, I think we'll be good.
What would it mean for you to get your first win? It's already big to get your first win, but to do it in this event, the biggest street stock race of the year.
It'd be huge. Obviously, I want to win any week, but this one specifically, extra distance, more money on the line, probably more people watching than the fireworks after, so you got to make sure to see the fireworks. It'd mean a lot. I just got to thank everybody that helps me out. I can't thank them enough for that.
You do realize now that Al Saunders won last week, you got work to do, right?
Yeah, they've been running really well. He won last week, Cliff got third, and I got sixth. So I got to step it up a little bit to make the shop look good.
I mean, we got to get underneath guys. We're floating out on the top a little bit too much, so we definitely have to get to the bottom and try to maintain the first 20 or so and then get it done the last 10.
Why are you guys struggling sticking to the bottom?
We're just inconsistent with the few wrecks that we've had, and we changed the front end around a bunch of times. So we snugged everything up this week, and hopefully we'll be a lot better.
How do you prepare for 30 laps instead of 20?
A little bit more water in the water bottle, a little bit more gas in the tank, and after that we'll have plenty of pizza at the end.
Rico's Pizza at that. So do you have to be more aggressive, do you feel like, for this race? Do you have to take it easy more? How do you feel you have to approach in terms of the aggression out there with how last week was caution-free, but the week before that was not as clean?
I would imagine with the 10 extra laps we can take our time a little bit more, but whether or not the field decides to do that or not, it's a different story.
How big would it be to get this event done?
It'd be pretty big. There'd be a lot of free pizza in Stamford, Connecticut, I'll tell you that right now. And a lot of beer to be drank at the Double Hook Bar.
Yeah, it's definitely a little confidence boost. Kind of just, telling ourselves we still got it, obviously, and it was nice to get back to victory lane after a couple rough weeks.
What is it like dealing with those couple rough weeks where it's not like you had major issues, but it was just enough to take you out?
It's just kind of one of those things where we just, gotta accept it, and there's nothing you can do to change the outcome, and go home, fix the car, get it ready, and get in the right mindset, come back and do it again.
I know you won by several seconds last week, but drivers are never satisfied. What more do you think this car has for tonight?
Hopefully a little more. Always working on it to get more speed out of it. Don't matter how much you win by, there's always speed to be found.
30 lapper, you've won it before. How do you change your approach, if at all, for this event?
I really don't. Regardless of the extra distance, the extra 10 laps, I really don't change my approach to it. I kind of treat every race the same.
Can you explain to me how big it is for a street stock driver to win the 30 lapper since you've done it?
It's definitely a really good feeling. It's the biggest event for the street stocks throughout the year, so if you win that race, it's kind of a, I don't know, I'm looking for a word that I can't find. I don't know, it's a big confidence boost. It means a lot. It's a really cool race to win.
Now, we've seen some aggressive action in the street stocks this year. We've seen you get in some very hectic battles. Do you feel like with how the aggression has been this season that you have to change your driving style at all? Or do you just keep doing what you do?
For the most part, I've been just keeping on doing what I do. I learned a lot last season, and I've been using what I learned this season thus far, so I'm probably just going to keep doing that. It seems to be working.
It's taking a little get used to dial it in from Thompson to here, but I think we're slowly getting a handle on it.
What more? You finished fourth last week, but you said that the car was not as bad as the result may have shown. How'd you feel about the car last week, and how do you feel about tonight?
I actually felt pretty good with the car last week. We're running some pretty old tires, trying to save anything we got for tonight, and I think if there was a yellow or two, it would have been right there on the podium with these.
So now you got the 30 lapper. You won this event last year. Do you change your approach for a 30 lapper compared to 20, or is it more of the same?
Just get to the front and try to stay there. That's all you can do, really, no matter what length the race is. If you get out there early, just try to save what you got. Hope the 11 doesn't come too fast.
How different is it now operating your own race team here compared to last year?
It's really not much different. Just different car, really. Everything else is the same. And just a little more laid-back approach, a little less stressful like this.
But the racing won't be as laid back, right?
You know the answer to that with me.
We've been pretty strong. I think we're a little down on horsepower. This is like the fourth season on this motor, so maybe at the end of the year it's time to buy a new motor. But yeah, it's just tough, when we do show up, starting in the back of the pack, and starting 16th most of the time, and having to get up to the front. By the time you get up to the front, sometimes you're out of time. And last week or the last time I did race, it was a little tough because our race got rain shortened by about 6 laps.
Now you got 30 laps to work with instead of 20. So how does the approach change knowing you're going to start further towards the back?
We've always been, that team that kind of slowly works to the front. So I think the extra 10 laps will definitely help us. Hopefully we're there at the end in the top 3 and, hopefully shooting for a win by the end of this. This is the one race I've never won.
I was going to say, you haven't won in a while. You've talked about that. How big would it be for you to get back to victory lane in this race especially?
Seems like we're locked at this number 19 for a while. It's funny because that's what it says on our fire suit. 19, it's Keith's old fire suit. And so I don't know. This would be huge for us, not only just to get another win and get back up on that mountain, but for it to be this race would be cool because this is the race I've only ever come close to second place.
Well, it's been up and down so far this season. I got into a wreck a couple weeks ago. The rear end was bent, so we replaced that, got new gears in the car, so now we're seeing if those changes help us. We've been kind of improving a bit, but then we got into a little bit of bad luck one race. My ignition line sat down on the headers, it came off the clips, and then I lost power. But other than that, the car's been a lot better, and the changes seem to help quite a bit.
What more do you need for tonight for 30 laps?
I just need to get better quarter entry and get my exits better, and then we'll have a good run down the back stretch and everything, and we'll be able to McFleer our way to the front.
It's been pretty aggressive this year at times in the street stocks. How do you prepare for that?
Just watching out, knowing who's around you. There's some guys who are more aggressive than others, so you just kind of be aware of your situation. Don't put yourself in a bad one. Try not to win on the first lap, and just stay focused.
We know how special your first win was last year. How big would it be to win the 30-lapper tonight?
Just as special, especially it being the 30-lapper.
Well, there you have it. Now it's time to go racing. It's the Midstate Site Development Firecracker Street Stock 30 with fireworks coming after the show. And Ben Dodge is on the call for it all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to a great night, not only just of auto racing that is always a thriller, but it'll be a great night of family fun and entertainment. A spectacular aerial fireworks display will close out this evening's program, and everybody is pumped up as part of the festivities for Midstate Site Development Street Stock 30. You've just seen Bonza, of course, talking with the drivers as they plan their strategy going into the extra distance, extra money event for this evening's program. But that's not the only big story, and I am honored to tell you that our good buddy Kyle Rickey is off on assignment at the Motor Racing Network, and joining me here at Broadcast Central, and we always have a great time, is Bonza. Bonza, you've had an opportunity to check out what's going on in the pit area. Besides the street stocks, there's some new side stories. Some people have returned we haven't seen in a very long time. And for others, tonight is the night. A picture-perfect weather night here at the Half Mile.
Well, that's what I wanted to mention first. The weather is perfect.
Finally.
You could not, yes, finally. We've had a rough road with the weather over the last month and a half, but the weather is just incredible today. Temperatures in the mid-70s, no humidity. It actually might be a little bit chilly tonight when the sun sets, so you might actually have to grab a hoodie. But going back to drivers returning, in the late models, a driver returning for the first time in over 15 years at this rate.
Absolutely.
Scott Foster Jr. is back in the late model, driving the 00 car owned by Welch. And he's a 6-time winner at Stafford. He's won 5-time in late models. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does. He's always here on Mondays helping out his kid Tommy Foster in the Wild Thing carts, but now he's going to show Tommy how to get it done behind the wheel in the big cars, and I'm excited to see what he has in store.
I agree with you on that, and we've seen so much of that happening. The ideal family situation is the Gambacordas. The Gambacordas, what they seem to carry over what happens on a Friday to Monday, or in some cases from Monday to Friday.
It's kind of an inter-family competition between Kevin and Colton. Last year, they both had 3 wins. Right now, Kevin has the upper edge with 2 victories. Colton has 1, but Colton has come close to getting that second victory. And I think, obviously, Colton wants to win for his own sake, but he loves to have bragging rights over his old man.
Of course, I think every youngster likes to do that as well, and a great family it is. Our attention now shifts to the field of cars. It'll soon be coming on to the back straightaway here at the Speedway. Tonight's race program, as we said before, is brought to you by Midstate Site Development, and that makes it a very, very special night of racing, because when you're involved in the sport of auto racing, and you combine that with the fact that you're giving back something to the other competitors, and I know the family that's associated with this, and they are a family that takes a great deal of pride in helping the up-and-comers of the sport.
Yeah, Glenn Corner Sr., the man behind Midstate Site Development, he's been doing it for over 20 years. You'll later on see a video to explain what Midstate Site Development is, but him, his son Noah, they work together in the office. Sometimes you see Joey Perino down there as well. I'm not sure if Joey's really working. If not, he's just messing around. But yeah, Glenn Corner Sr., Noah Corner, that entire team, even Tyler Trott. Tyler Trott works for Midstate Site Development. I've seen the work they've done with their drone videos, and it's amazing how much they can do renovating sites, redoing public buildings and whatnot, police buildings, schools, anywhere. They've done a lot of work, and they've done a lot for Stafford with this 30-lap street stock event. Glenn Corner Sr. loves the street stocks. They're old school. You know, it's not the drivers who have a lot of money. It's these guys and gals who grind every week, every day to get their job done, both off the track and on the track. You know, the everyday man and woman, the common man. So he supports the street stocks a lot, and the street stock competitors are super grateful for it.
They certainly are. And, of course, tonight it is their night as they move to the top of the charts. But for those of you just joining us, make sure you check out all the impressive displays that are located on the Midway area. The good folks from Casella Waste, a long big-time supporter here at the Speedway. And, of course, in addition to that, we remind you that it's a family facility, and we want your visit to be a great visit, and a visit that you will remember and bring other families here. We always say at the opening of the program, Bonza, the best thing to do right now is to literally use all forms of social media and invite somebody to come out. Picture perfect night. It's great to watch it on Flow, but it's even better live.
Look, nobody can tell me that being at the track is not as good as being on Flow or watching on Flow. It's way better. Mind you, I'd never been to a race until I came to Stafford in 2019. Right. And when I first came here, I was blown away. The atmosphere, the noise, the smells, the sensation of speed you get. No matter how good video broadcasts are, it can never do enough justice compared to being there in person and watching it all happen. It's phenomenal.
It certainly is. And, of course, the safety services vehicle is coming onto the racetrack provided by Monaco Ford. 2 convenient locations, one over 100 years old in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and a second in Niantic, Connecticut. Well, it's kind of appropriate. Here's Bonza as we present the starting lineup for round number 1. These are the limited late models.
8 cars in the first heat, and starting up front is the 74 from Springfield, Vermont, sponsored by Bears Cleaning Service. It's Matt Winter II.
Outside row number 1, the Rob Russell chassis machine from Willington, Connecticut, car number 83 for R.J. Serdell.
Inside of the second row is the 22 from New Hartford, Connecticut, sponsored by Dunning Industries. It's Gary Patnode.
ARI Spray Foam brings us car number 9. It'll start outside of row number 2 from Canton, Connecticut, Connor Jensick.
Then it's the Wheelers Auto Parts Napa 28 starting in 5th. From Tallinn, Connecticut, it's Rich Hammond.
6th in the grid will be the Mertz Racing Engines SRD Motorsports machine. That, of course, is the number 82 from Pasco, Rhode Island, Samantha Dell.
And starting in the 7th spot in the inside of row 4 is the 21 machine driven by Kevin Crosby.
And picking up at the rear of the field, the Daddy O'Honey machine from Northford, Connecticut, Dana Ray, car number 42. If you've just joined us, this is round number 1. The field will be doubling up and we'll set to go racing. 6 cars will be among the preferred starting spots, and that, of course, is where you need to be. And Bonza, every interview that you do each and every week, you always hear one thing: I have to be in the handicap.
Oh, yeah.
It's so important for these drivers to be up there, because one spot out of those handicap positions puts you way in the back of the pack.
And most of the time, the winners of the limited late model features have started on the front row. So track position is key. This division is tight. We have 7 winners in the first 7 races. That explains how competitive the limited late models are. Could we get an 8th tonight? We'll find out later on.
And if we do, it'll be an all-time record for this limited late model division. But right now, with the snap of the wrist, the green is out, and Matt Winter is the guy up front. Winters has got off to a great start this season with that number 74 car, and he continues to get better each and every Friday night. Right now, a bid for the runner-up spot, R.J. Serdell. Just moved to the outside. Here he comes off turn number 4. Serdell is up to second.
Yeah, Serdell's trying to bounce back after not finishing last week after contact with the guy he's running in front of, Gary Patino in the 22. Serdell now tries to get to Matt Winter. Matt Winter had a good run going in the first half of last race, and then things didn't go too well. But the speed is there, but so is Serdell on the inside of the 74.
They come off turn number 4. They kind of cling and they clang together. But at the stripe, it is Matt Winter, still the leader of the pack. Red, white, and blue. Kind of appropriate, Bonza. Oh, all of a sudden, they touch.
They're okay.
Serdell gets away. It costs Matt Winters 2, 3, 4 positions on the racetrack. But back off turn number 4, the red, white, and blue machine of Serdell is the leader of the pack.
And the 83 of R.J. Serdell has been told to go to pit road for a pass-through penalty. So Serdell has been penalized for the contact with Winter. He'll have to go to pit road and serve that penalty and make his way back on the track.
Well, a tough break for him, but racing is racing, and racing hard can result in these kind of penalties. Off the turn, the black flag is given to the leader. Serdell, 4 of 8 laps now into the record books. Our attention shifts back into the 4th and 5th position, and it is a good battle that is going on between Winter down the back straightaway. Serdell going to be coming in for that penalty. Taking over the lead, Gary Patino. He's looking racy tonight, Bonza, as the leader of the pack.
We've seen him show some speed this season. This is a different car for Patino. In fact, the car he used to drive is now driven by Connor Jensick in the 9. Patino has a couple podiums this year. He's still looking for that first win since the middle of 2022. When I mentioned we could see an 8th different winner tonight, Patino is definitely a contender for that.
He certainly is. He brings him back to the stripe. 2 laps remaining in this event. Little further back in the field, Samantha Dell has just worked her way around the number 9 car of Connor Jensick. She continues to get strong each and every week. Good battle shaping up, but time is running out. Off turn number 4, the Magic is coming to the start-finish line. White flag is out, 1 lap to go.
Patino takes the white flag. Connor Jensick slid up the track in turn 2 last lap and lost that 6th and final spot in the handicap to Dana Ray. He's still right on the 42's back bumper as Hammond closes in on Patino for the lead with 2 turns to go.
No question about it. Off the 4th turn, Hammond's got him all reeled in. They come to the line. Gary Patino will take down the win. Rich Hammond will finish in 2nd. Matt Winter will hold on for 3rd. Up to the 4th position, it looks like Kevin Cosby and Samantha Dell with Dana Ray, Connor Jensick, and R.J. Serdell. After a penalty, he will be out of the preferred starting spot. Not where he wanted to be, but he has a fast race car tonight, and it's very easy when you're that quick to make up a lot of valuable time in the main event.
He'll have his work cut out for him, though, because he finished 8th. That means he'll start 15th in the feature later tonight.
Well, the second limited late model qualifying event will be rumbling on to the speedway in car number 6. Talk about a guy who had a tough night last Friday. The L&S Equipment Machine. Don't remember a night like he had. Ken Lavoie owns the automobile. From Windsor Locks, Connecticut, the multiple champion, the red number 6, Jeremy Lavoie.
Then it's our point leader on the outside of the front row from Wethersfield, Connecticut, sponsored by Utility Services New England in the 59. It's Matt Clement.
Let's go to row number 2, the Genco Construction Machine out of Canton, Connecticut. Here's a talented up-and-comer, Devin Jensick.
Outside of row 2 is the J.P. McCarthy and Sons 24 from Three Rivers, Massachusetts. It's Kyle Terrio.
3 rows back to the inside. It was a Cinderella story. He broke in practice, kind of was down on himself, never gave up, and came back to win the event. Tonight, the cars all spiffed back up. It's the CSB Communications Machine. From Plainville, Connecticut, Adrian Paradis III.
Then it's the Chicopee Concrete Gendon Auto Parts 14 on the outside of row 3. From Agawam, Massachusetts, it's Kevin Cormier.
4 rows back, position number 7, car number 07. The LeBeau Rubbish Removal Machine from Holland, Massachusetts, Trinity Provost.
Starting 8th is the number 18, also sponsored by Utility Services New England. From Wethersfield, Connecticut, it's Scott Clement.
Car number 5 picks up the rear of the field from Willington, Connecticut, the DKV Motorsports car for Daryl Vetterflay. So we are ready and about ready to kick off the second qualifying event. 2x2 and side by side, 2 of the fiercest competitors in this division. Clement on the outside, Lavoie on the inside. Lavoie will tell you, and I'm sure he has, Bonza, that he just seems to be struggling a bit at times. Got a fast race car, but the car sometimes goes away, and he's not used to that. It's always been stable and good. He's a real talent behind the wheel, too.
A 3-time limited late model champion, defending champion at that, but no wins to his resume so far in 2024. We talked about 7 different winners. The biggest surprise of them all is that 6 car, but if there's a team that can figure it out really quick, it's them.
Here they come off turn number 4. The veteran Lavoie. Clement on the outside. Paradis has a problem initially on the start. Car number 19 drops back to the rear of the field. Back up front. Bid for second. Down the back straightaway, Clement. Black and red gold numeral number 59. Moves into second, but Devin Jensick is nipping at his heels as they come off 4.
Matt Clement slid up the track a bit coming off of 4. It wasn't much of an open door for Jensick, but it was enough, and he got to the inside of the 59 while Lavoie begins to pull away. Jensick in the 23, he won the second race of the year. Matt Clement, the 59, he won the first race of the year, and they're door-to-door for second.
They certainly are. 2 of the best competitors in this division. Now the 24 of Kyle Thoreau moves up. He is on the prowl and works his magic, and directly behind him, Kevin Cormier with the number 14 car. But out in front, Lavoie. He looks racy. He comes off the turn like a rocket. Car number 6 is .731 ahead of the car of Devin Jensick, setting in second.
Jensick's got 3 cars trailing behind him, and Matt Clement, Kyle Terrio, and Kevin Cormier. Speaking of Cormier, it's his second start back in the limited late models. He started off the year in the late models, returned to this division where he's got 6 victories on his resume, had a solid run, got caught up in an accident with Matt Clement, still came back to finish 4th. He's looking for more tonight. He's running 5th, but he's got Terrio right in front of him along with Clement, Jensick, and Lavoie.
Halfway down and halfway to go. Once the commanding lead held by Jeremy Lavoie is starting to vanish just a bit. Meanwhile, Devin Jensick is running in his tire tracks down into turn number 3. And it's Matt Clement up to that 3rd position. Kyle Terrio right there in the 4th spot. He's putting on a challenge. Back off turn number 4. Lavoie leads the conga line down in turn 1.
I want to mention Paradise had that bad start after struggling on his shift. He has moved up to 6th, so he is in the handicap, and he has turned the fastest lap so far in this heat race. So even though he had a bad start, Paradise's 19 still has a lot of speed, but he also has a lot of ground to make up with the top 5 way out in front.
Here they come off turn number 4. 2 laps remain. That's 1 mile left in the competition here. Devin Jensick has reeled in on Lavoie. Lavoie continues to hit his marks as the leader of the pack. Margin between 1st and 2nd, and 2nd and 3rd about the same. Here they come. White flag is out. No surrendering in the top 5 here.
Everybody's pretty equal, and that's been the MO of the limited late models this year. Evenly spaced, about a car length and a half apart. That's why I say track position is key, because once you're up front, it's hard to make passes in this division. Lavoie leads the way, 2 turns to go, trying to get a good start to the night, hoping to get his first win of the year.
Here he comes, back to the stripe. Black and whites come from the starter stand. Jeremy Lavoie has done it. He'll secure the victory. Devin Jensic, great run for second. Matt Clement, always strong in third. Kyle Theriot to finish in the 4th spot. And Kevin Cormier to round out the top 5. 6th and final transfer, Adrian Paradis, car number 19. And then there's 3 cars that will not make it in those preferred positions.
Scott Clement, Daryl Verdefe, and Trinity Provost to round out the 9-car field. 17 limited late models in total. That division continues to grow. The competition continues to get stiff, and they're putting on a show. Last week was a wild one. We'll see what they have in store for tonight, and they have their big 30-lap feature in a couple weeks.
They sure do, and that is going to be an event that you'll want to see. Speaking of Adrian Paradis, last week he had a drive shaft and a problem in the interior of the car, thought he was going to be out of the event, came back to win the event. It was a Cinderella story. Joe Ham told me a story. He said the outside of the car now looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
But the inside of the car says it's kind of like not vacuuming the carpets. It's a little bit shady. And that, of course, put a big smile on Adrian's face. So we'll look forward to see what we can have in the main event. Our next division on the racetrack will be our late model division, and we've had some incredible competition in that division as well. But there's one individual who's a former champion. He has struggled terrible, and he is going to be starting in the number 1 position in the first late model qualifier.
And we're talking about Adam Gray, the driver of the 97, 4-time champion from Granby, Massachusetts. He's sponsored by Meadows Motor Car. And yes, he needs some good luck, but so does the guy on the outside of the front row.
Sure does, and that's the number 87, the Mayday Oil Machine. Joe Meyer owns the automobile from North Franklin, Connecticut. It is Chris Meyer.
Then it's the 4-car from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, sponsored by Square Peg Pizzeria. It's Turbo Tom Butler.
Keep your eyes on this guy in the Springfield Thunderbirds machine. PTG Enterprises from Fairfield, Connecticut. Car number 10, Wayne Corey Jr.
Inside of row 3 is the Safeco Foam number 12 from Hamden, Massachusetts. It's Alexandra Fern.
Setting in the 6th spot will be the Tavern on the Tracks machine. What a season this dry is having. From Berlin, Connecticut, Paul Verrecchio Jr.
Then we go to the guy who won on opening day in the 79 car from Enfield, Connecticut, starting 7th in the Jarmock Farm Big Kahuna Racing Machine, Daryl Keene.
Then we go to car number 17. It's a father and son combination. The Wayne's Auto Body, number 17, from Milford, Connecticut, Wayne Corey Sr.
And rounding out the 9-car field in the 00, making his return for the first time in a long time, sponsored by Northeastern Sheet Metal, it's Scott Foster Jr.
There you have it, our round number 1 of 2 qualifying events. Now, the distance in this is going to be 8 laps. The number of cars to transfer among the handicap situation will be 6. So get ready, because this late model division has also provided us with some incredible competition. Talk about highs and lows. Tom Fern has had moments of brilliance at times, and then at other times, no luck at all, wrong place, wrong time. And that's just one of many stories. Alexander Fern, how impressive she has been this year, and a lot of times she just hasn't had the luck.
That's half the battle in racing for both Alex and Tom Fern. It's just luck. Adam Gray, the same way. He hasn't had much luck this season. He's on the pole, but he elected to start in the back, so Meyer leads the field to green.
They come down into turn number 1, and car number 87, Chris Meyer, does a good job of guarding the inside lane. Moving quickly into second, Wayne Corey Jr., and right behind them, and moving forward, it is Verrecchio. Car 39, Tom Fern, the green number 4 car, drops back in line behind Alexander Fern as they come off on turn 4.
Yeah, Butler had a bad start on the outside of row 1 and fell all the way back to 6th. The top 6 do qualify for the handicap, and Butler's got Wayne Corey Sr., Adam Gray, and Scott Foster Jr. behind him. Chris Meyer did not even make the start of the late model feature last week after having a plethora of problems. He rented the track today. The car looks pretty good. He's pretty fast right now, but we're only on lap 2.
He sure is. He's looking really racy at the front of the field. Meanwhile, for second, Paul Verrecchio is closing up the gap on Wayne Corey Jr. Now, Corey is a veteran. Verrecchio is the same. And what about Daryl Keene? He set out some weeks. His car was severely destroyed, had to build a brand new car, and this BFR chassis is working for him. He is in the 4th position.
You mentioned veterans. That's the thing about the late models. A lot of drivers who've been racing for a long time. Wayne Corey Jr. has been racing for a couple decades. Paul Verrecchio Jr. has been racing for a couple decades. Alex Byrne's been racing for a decade. Tom Butler for 3 decades at this rate. They've all been racing for a long time. Adam Gray has pulled it onto pit road. I don't think he's happy with that car, so he's going to park it for now as we're halfway through the heat.
Tough break for him as well. Can't get a break if he tries. Car number 97 is down on pit road, back up front. Bid for second. Here comes Verrecchio. Black and orange car to the inside, challenging the number 10. Corey continues to hold on in the upper groove. Side by side, you could put a piece of paper between those 2 cars, but Verrecchio will take over second. And Bonza, guess who's coming right behind Corey?
The winner on week 1, Daryl Keene. He missed a couple events this season after a very hard crash in turn 3 on week 2. He has come back and been solid. A 5th place finish, a 6th place finish. Maybe not exactly what he was looking for, but he felt pretty good about his car after the open practice session, or I should say the private test session that they had. White flags in the air. Everybody's chasing Chris Meyer, who leads by about 5 car lengths as he takes the white.
Sure does. He's the quickest car on the racetrack currently, but there is only less than a half a mile remaining in this event. He stands on the throttle, and Myers even starts to string it out more. The test session is paying off as Myers goes into turn 3 for the final time. Here's Bonza as they come back to the line.
A pretty commanding heat race for the 87 team. Chris Meyer will take down the win. Paul Verrecchio Jr. is 2nd, Wayne Corey Jr. 3rd, Daryl Keene 4th, Alexandra Fern 5th, Tom Butler 6th. That's the top 6 that qualify for the handicap. Then it's Wayne Corey Sr., Scott Foster Jr., and then Adam Gray, after Adam Gray pulled it on the pit road at the halfway point.
Tough break for the Gray group. They've always been true champions. His dad, one of the best, and a champion in his own right as well. Coming up next, round number 2. Same story. It's kind of rinse and repeat. Car number 20 will be starting at the point in this one, and that is PJ Zarella, driving the Litchfield County Marina sponsored car.
Then it's the 6-time track champion, 3 of those coming in the late models in the number 92 machine. From East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, sponsored by King Gray Coach Lines, it's Tom Fern.
Well, it is the Tom O'Sullivan Welding Group. They have been synonymous with a lot of successful full-bodied race cars over the years. From Belchertown, Mass, car number 07, Chris Buffone.
Then it's the A6A Associates Tri-State Elevator and Hoist number 9, starting in the 4th spot. From Naugatuck, Connecticut, it's Bobby Sturck III.
Chicopee, Massachusetts, feature event winner, the Days Cannabis Machine. They call him Bam Bam. Car number 43 for Andrew Duran.
Outside of row 3 is our defending champion and 2-time winner this season from Ellington, Connecticut. Sponsored by Levine Law, the 23 of Kevin Gambacorta.
And then we go to the Saunders twins, and last week, boy, were they racy. The American Sleepberry, number 14, will start next from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Cliff Saunders.
Then it's the other half of the Saunders duo, the number 40, last week's winner from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, also sponsored by American Sleep Bearing. Believe that. It's Al Saunders.
It sure is, and the field is given the caution flag before they'll be told to double up. If you've just joined us, good evening. Welcome to our show. We appreciate you coming out and being a part of the festivities. Check out all the good stuff that's happening on the Midway here. Delicious food items prepared just the way that you like them. Directly under Broadcast Central, delicious peppers and onions and sausage sandwiches. Top of the Midway, across from the Double Hook. That's your adult beverage center, and you can even watch every lap of the race. Bonds, it's the best seat in the house. Especially
How can you argue that?
if you like a cocktail
Yes.
to enjoy the program with.
Although I enjoy my water, but yes, that is fair. It's a great view, and there's a reason why it's always packed, because there's really not many other places where you get a better view and have a good time at the same time.
Sure is. Now, it looks like we're going to be doubling the field up, and we are. And, of course, get ready. Round number 2 is about to unfold in just a second.
It's going to be interesting seeing Gambacorta and both Saunders twins starting 6th, 7th, and 8th respectively. See how quickly they can make their way through the field, if they can. There was one time this season Gambacorta could not even make a pass in the heat race and had to start in the back of the field. This field is tight. It's very tough, so everybody's just a tenth or so apart at most. every position matters and every lap matters, even for a heat race if you want a good starting spot.
It sure does, and we're about ready to unleash them off turn number 4. The green flag is out as they head down into turn number 1. Car number 20, PJ Zarella, fighting on the inside. Fern on the outside. Orange and white car versus black and white. Tom Fern takes over the lead. Look at Bobby Sturck. He makes his presence known. Monza, he's trying to work the outside. It won't pay off. 4 cars contending for second.
It's not easy to make a pass on the outside, but if there's one driver that can do it, it's Tom Fern. He made it work, took the lead. Now Zarella slides up the track. Sturck gets under the 20, and they race side by side for second.
The phone is right there in the 4th position. Here comes Kevin Gambacorta. That's what a champion does. Paces himself and goes when it's time to go. Shuffling back is the number 20 of PJ Zarella. He was once the leader just a lap ago.
Gosh, when you're on the outside and you're stuck up there, I wish you the best, because there's no hold back in the bottom until you get to the back, and that's what's happening to Zarella. Tom Fern leads by a couple car lengths, then it's Sturck, Buffoni, Gambacorta, Durand, and Cliff Saunders, but they're all pretty close together.
They certainly are. Gambacorta, the red machine. He has had a banner season this year so far, and he continues to finish on the podium, and you can see why. He now takes a look to the inside, sees a little daylight. Buffoni shuts the door. They come off the turn. Will Gambacorta change his strategy? He pulls back in the line, halfway down, halfway to go.
Gambacorta tried to lean on the left rear Buffoni, but he did not have the momentum coming off the corner to make the move, so he settles back and forth. Buffoni last week scored his best career finish in the late models with a 5th place run, and that was after having problems with the rear end. He's running 3rd. Sturck is now catching up to Tom Fern, so that gap is closing. We'll see if Sturck has anything for that 92 with 3 laps to go.
Gambacorta now takes a peek to the bottom of the racetrack. Bid is for the lead. Then there's a second pack of cars. Gambacorta showing his championship style. He moves in. The red number 23 is 3rd. Tap to the back bumper of Fern off turn number 4. We've got a bid for the lead, and it is an aggressive one.
But how aggressive should you get? They're both in the handicap, so you don't want to push the issue too far. We saw what happened to R.J. Surdell in the limited late model heat, and it cost him a lot of spots because he had to serve a drive-through penalty. Sturck backs off, Tom Fern leads, the white flag is out, and the top 7 cars are all nose to tail.
They certainly are. They come back to the stripe. Nobody's stepping out of line. Final 3 turns about to unfold. Who's going to be? Here comes the number 9. Bobby Sturck washes to the inside. Fern is in trouble. Gambacorta moves up to second. Buffoni right there on the bottom of the racetrack for 3rd. 1 turn left in the competition. Bid is for 3rd on back. Sturck will take down the victory. And what a finish it was, with Gambacorta to finish in 2nd. Fern held on to finish in the 3rd spot. Buffoni will finish in 4th, and Durand will round out the top 5 in the competition here.
Cliff Saunders finishes 6th, last car to qualify for the handicap, which means last week's winner, Al Saunders, finishes 7th, doesn't make the handicap. He'll have to start the feature back in 13th. PJ Zarella rounds out the 8-car field as we close out the late model heat and move on to our premier division.
We sure do. The fastest division of the night. The division that has everybody talking about them, no matter where you go. In racing, you will hear people talk about the incredible performances and the runs and the talent that is in Stafford's own SK Modified division. So let's get right at it, and car number 18 will be starting at the point. That's the Pro Systems machine. Kenny Berry owns the car from Griswold, Connecticut, a former SK Light champion, Tyler Berry.
Outside of row 1 is the Ellington native in the Chapman Apartment Homes, number 14, Stephen Chapman.
The apple didn't fall from this tree very far. The Steer Right Tire and Auto Machine from East Long Meadow, car number 16, Dylan Kopeck.
Then it's the 3-time defending champion from Summers, Connecticut, and the Cooker Construction 81, it's Todd Owen.
Then it's the Michael O'Sullivan and Chris O'Sullivan. Prepared Horsepower Hill Farms. Dan Avery's race car from Berlin, Connecticut, car number 22, Keith Rocco.
Starting 6th is the Wolcott, Connecticut native in the Jarvis Brothers Roofing 33. Last week's runner-up, Michael Jarvis Jr.
3-time repeat winner here at Stafford, the Hummel's Hot Dog Machine from Farmington, Connecticut, car number 11, Corey DiMatteo.
And rounding out the 8-car field is the H.A.R. Con, or Harcon, medal finishing specialist number 12 from Windsor, Connecticut. It's Art Caruso.
You know, when you look out, Bonza, at this qualifying round, we've seen this season at some racetracks, this would look like a feature event for the modified cars. That's how competitive. And look at the names in this lineup. Very impressive. Keith Rocco, one of the hottest modified drivers. Todd Owen, multiple track championship. Corey DiMatteo, 3-time winner, a three-peat. Tyler Berry, 3rd generation as part of the Berry Racing family. And the names go on and on.
Well, if you look at the 8-car field, 5 of them are former track champions at Stafford, either in SKs or SK Lights.
Sure are. You can't beat that. Here they come. Pounding on the gas. The green flag is out. And Stephen Chapman wasting no time at all. But young Tyler Berry, youth versus opportunity in row number 2. They're flying down the back straightaway. 4 cars under a blanket. Here comes Dylan Kopeck to the inside.
Wow, Kopeck's car really did a nice job sticking to the bottom. He's going to go 3rd to 1st in less than half a lap. That was a pretty impressive circuit there by Dylan Kopeck. He has the lead. Now Stephen Chapman wants 2nd back, and I think something might be wrong with Keith Rocco. That car is not going on the straightaways.
It certainly is not. He's got some type of a mechanical problem there. Now, Michael Jervis, we'll call him Mr. Consistency. He is always there at the end. He is smooth as he works his magic, slips into the 4th spot. Here comes Todd Owen, car number 81. And right there with him, the 3-peat guy, the Hummel's Hot Dog Machine, car number 11 for Corey DiMatteo.
It's a battle between a driver who has won 3 straight races this year against a driver who has won 3 straight championships, and that's an important battle because that is the final spot to transfer into the handicap. DiMatteo on the bottom has the edge over Todd Owen, but they're still bar to bar coming off of 4.
Halfway down and halfway to go. Owen changes his strategy. He even changes his line. He works his magic, tries to move in. It doesn't work. Corey DiMatteo into the 5th spot. Look at Michael Jervis down underneath Tyler Berry. Off turn number 4, bid is for 3rd.
And DiMatteo is right there watching those two. He has nowhere to go. He's boxed in, so he's got to wait for that battle in front of him to settle down. Jarvis has the 3rd spot. Now DiMatteo goes for 4th, and Todd Owen is pushing the 11.
He sure is. They look like they're bump drafting on a super speedway. Corey DiMatteo, and now here comes Todd Owen. 2 laps to go. Owen and Tyler Berry side by side and wheel to wheel. Position number 5 is most important, and now Owen is into the handicap. Tyler Berry smooch to the back bumper. No love affair here.
White flag is out. 1 more lap to go in this heat, and Keith Rocco has pulled it onto pit road. Hopefully Dave Barabal in the paddock can give us an update when the 22 makes its way back there. Kopeck has the lead, and he's pulling away from everybody. Chapman in 2nd, and they're bunched up from 3rd on back.
Here they come off turn number 4. Dylan Kopeck pulled off the Timex. Timely move to take the lead. He will take down the win. Stephen Chapman to finish in 2nd. Michael Jervis to finish in 3rd. Corey DiMatteo was 4th, and Todd Owen moved into position number 5. Very important for him, and that leaves 3 competitors out of the handicap.
Yeah, Tyler Berry, Art Caruso, and Keith Rocco. So if Keith can make it back on the track, he's going to start way back in, let me do the math here real quick, 22nd. So he's going to have a lot of work to do. It looked like that car just was sick on the straightaway, as if it was down a cylinder or something happened mechanically, because he would go through the turns just fine, but it had no motor down the back stretch or front stretch.
It certainly did not, and they've had no luck at all. Let's go to round number 2. In car number 5, the RJ's Plumbing and Heating car. Feature event winner from last year from Millville, Massachusetts, RJ Marcotte.
Starting in 2nd is the Monaco Ford 75 from right here in Stafford. It's David Arute.
Keep your eyes on this guy. He has had a great season. He kind of sneaks under the radar, driving the Bellyheggie Farms machine. From Hamden, Massachusetts, car number 24, the talented Mikey Flynn.
Then it's the Mad Dog Jr. from Danbury, Connecticut in the Lasco Roofing and Sheet Metal 21, starting in 4th, George Bassett Jr.
Last week, first time on the podium here at Stafford in the SK Modifieds. He sets behind the wheel of the Bulls Chrysler Dodge Jeep machine. Car number 76 will start in the 5th position, Austin Beers.
Starting 6th is the Wheelers Auto Service 88 from North Haven, Connecticut, Marcello Refrano.
And picking up in position number 7, it will be car number 07. That, of course, is the number 07 of Jack Baldwin. Car usually carries the 7 New York number as well.
Yes, and rounding out the 8-car field is the Brainerd Motorsports 96 from Canton, Connecticut, longtime SK Modified veteran, Kurt Brainerd.
Here we come. Starter looking over the field, addressing the situation here. Tommy Baldwin Jr. is here tonight, coaching and helping with his son's car, Jack Baldwin. The Baldwin kids have been really making a mark for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
In the sport of modified racing, and it's where it all began. Tom Baldwin Sr., one of the all-time great veterans, a colorful, talented man, very popular with the race fans. Let's see what's going to happen. Off turn number 4, here's Monta to bring him to the line.
Green flag is out. Heat race number 2 for the SK Modifieds is underway. Flynn gives Marcotte a great push down the front stretch. That allows the 5 to hold the lead on his own. Flynn is trying to go for second under David Arute.
There's no question about it. Up front, already a challenge for the lead. It is Marcotte. With a swish, they come off turn number 4. Inside lane is powerful. Mikey Flynn is a brand new leader, and Austin Beers works his way into second in the Bulls Racing 76.
Flynn did the same thing Kopech did last heat, go third to first in less than half a lap, and he's quickly pulling away. Now from Austin Beers. Beers is second, David Arute third, and RJ Marcotte is stuck on the outside.
He certainly is. Meanwhile, the 21 machine of George Bassett, silent but deadly, is coming to the front of the field. He now moves in, takes over the 4th spot. Black number 21 on your radar screen. But look behind it for the 5th spot. That is the hottest spot on this racetrack now.
Marcello Refrano on the outside is stuck behind RJ Marcotte. He's trying to shove that 5 ahead and get clear of Baldwin in the 07 New York. They come off of 2. Marcotte has that last spot to transfer for the handicap, but he's got a lot of pressure from behind.
Certainly does. 3 cars under a blanket. Marcotte is there in the middle. Marcello Refrano, the pride of Italy, and Baldwin to the inside. Side by side, bid is for 5. Marcotte holding on. That transfer position is key in where you start the main event. Marcello Refrano frustrated. Baldwin the same as Marcotte continues to lead the parade for 5th.
Marcotte's getting a warning for not holding his line, hence why Baldwin and Refrano are still side by side. Marcotte has 5th, it's just a warning, and he's got Baldwin and Refrano busy with each other, but further up, Bassett's going to go for 3rd on David Arute.
And he does off the turn. Bassett moves into the 3rd spot. David Arute for 4. RJ Marcotte still in the 5th position. Baldwin working him over. Marcello Refrano, he just wants a piece of the real estate. He has tried everything, but the lane has been blocked.
And he's outside the handicap. He does not want to start deep in the field. He hammers the back end of Jack Baldwin's car as the field takes the white flag. Up front, Mikey Flynn has led for the most part, and he has a good gap back to Austin Beers and the rest of the field as the battle for 5th is on.
It is Baldwin who tries to make the move. RJ Marcotte on the outside. Here comes Marcello Refrano. Back to the stripe. Mikey Flynn takes down the victory, and it will be Baldwin to finish in position number 5. Mikey Flynn will take down the win. Austin Beers looking racy to finish in 2nd. George Bassett the same in 3rd. David Arute in 4th, and Jack Baldwin for 5. 3 cars will not be in the handicap And those cars are
R.J. Marcotte, Marcello Refrano, Kurt Brainerd. That means Marcello is going to have to start back in the 20th position. Dave, do you have something in the paddock?
I certainly do, guys. It's a fuel issue on the 22 of Keith Rocco. They immediately came in. They pulled the car up on the jacks. Keith went on and took a look, and that's what he confirmed to me, that it is a fuel issue that they are having that knocked him out of that heat race.
Tough break for him as we go to the third qualifying round.
Hey, Dave, make sure you're closer to the press box so you don't sound like you're underwater. Thank you.
Junkie Pool Racing brings us car number 99 out of North Haven, Connecticut. It is Tyler Hines.
Starting in the second spot is the number 23 from Stafford, Connecticut, sponsored by Prucker Motorsports, Wesley Prucker.
Keep your eyes on this guy, the Casella Waste Systems number 3 car. From Oxford, Massachusetts, the talented Troy Talman.
Outside of row 2 is the Midstate Site Development Wheelan Engineering 31. On their night, from Canton, Connecticut, it's Noah Corner.
3 rows back to the inside, car number 25, the Fowler's Auto Wrecking Machine. Another Tato and race car from Chassis Pro. From East Hampton, Connecticut, Anthony Flannery.
This driver had a night to remember last Friday in the New England Turf Esport Feeds. P.T. Watts, number 82 from Wolcott, Connecticut, starting in 6th, Mike Christopher Jr.
Petty Cash Motorsports, Tick Mike brings us car number 85 from Shelton, Connecticut, the JJ prepared car for Andrew Moeller.
Scheduled to start 8th is the D&D Racing number 63 from Waterbury, Connecticut, David Flamia Jr. But unfortunately, Flamia had an incident during the practice session today, and it sounds like he will not be back for the feature tonight.
Heartbreaker for him. Problem beneath the hood of the car, and it sent him at a ton down in turn number 3 underneath the Sunoco billboard there. Incidentally, Sunoco is the official fuel provided by New England Racing Fuels. Racing fuel at its best, the official fuel of the Stafford Motor Speedway.
So we get ready for our third and final SK Modified Heat Race. We hope those who are watching on Facebook and YouTube are enjoying the broadcast. As we get set, Tyler Hines and Wesley Prucker on the front row. Prucker came off a top 10 finish last week in the Senators Cup. He gets a great shove on the outside from Noah Corner as they race door to door in turn 1.
They are side by side, 2 by 2. Down the back straightaway, out in front by inches. Literally what they call a chrome horn. Off the turn, back to the line they come. Tyler Hines with the advantage. He will lead lap number 1. Casella Waste Machine wasting no time at all to try to work into second. Wesley Prucker turning some heads here today, and look at the bid for the third spot.
Flannery in the 25 was involved in an incident last week with Stephen Chapman, did not get a good finish. He moves up to third. Prucker runs up the track. He might have gotten run up the track by Flannery. In the 4th spot is Moeller, but he's not wasting any time, and we have a battle for the lead.
Remember, Moeller started in the scratch position. The Petty Cash Tick Mike machine up to the 3rd position. Moeller isn't done yet. He sets his sights on Talman.
Oh,
they touch.
Tyler Hines and Moeller get together. Moeller slides through the dirt, comes to a stop at the mini mile, and the caution is out.
Caution flag comes out, and a chain of events that literally was a surprise, as Moeller was among the quickest cars on the racetrack, started back in the 7th position, coming to the front of the field, and his car does not appear to have any severe damage, but the Monaco Ford Safety Services crew will check out the racing surface itself. Now, we couldn't do it here at Stafford without the support of so many different companies, and the official auto parts suppliers of the Stafford Motor Speedway are your local Napa Auto Care Centers. And we remind you to check out what they have to offer, and always tell them that you heard about it here at the Stafford Speedway. The Wheeler store in Tolland, you can go there and talk racing any time of the day or week, or in their Stafford store. They are race fan friendly.
Oh, Mike Wheeler is a great supporter of Stafford Speedway, and he's been working with Stafford for a long time. And the black flag is out for Tyler Hines. So Tyler Hines will go to the rear of the field. It was him and Moeller that made contact that triggered that incident. So Hines, who started on the pole, will have to go to the back. Granted, the back is only 7th spot, and he's still got 5 laps to work with.
Now, we're going to take a look at the replay on this. As white number 99 car, you can see it there. Running in second, comes down just a bit. Moeller is there. Contact is made. The end results, Moeller goes around. They kick up a lot of dust on the racetrack, but it is car number 99 that'll go to the rear of the field, and that's Tyler Hines. That is a tribute car to Jean-Guy Poulin, his lovely wife, Brigitte, still actively involved, and she still continues to come each and every Friday night. Her and Jean were literally a staple here at this facility.
For decades.
Decades, and they are two of the nicest people since Jean's passing. Brigitte continues to be very supportive. She makes some of the best turkey dinners you'd have anywhere in the country.
I've heard she makes good food.
Yes.
I haven't tried it yet, but...
Oh, you got to. It's a must.
It's an
Bonza,
underrated
it's a must.
aspect for a race team is to have somebody who can make real good food during a long day like today.
Sure is. Right now, let's see how long it's going to take Andrew Moeller and, of course, Tyler Hines to get back to the front in one of those 5 quality qualifying positions is a fair way to call it. There is the green.
Ooh, the front row made a little contact going into 1, but they're fine. It's just casual racing contact. Talman off of 2 has the edge over Flannery. Christopher now is up to 3rd as he clears Noah Corner. Moeller on the outside of row 3. He's got Prucker below him. Now Prucker's going for 4th on Noah Corner.
There's no question. He rumbles back to the line. Michael Christopher is showing why a week ago he won, well, not just one, 2 separate feature events in one night. He now moves into 2nd. Here comes Andrew Moeller, setting in the 5th spot, but it's not without a fight. Wesley Prucker is there, and so isn't the number 99 of Tyler Hines.
Christopher gave Talman a shot in turns 1 and 2. He's all over the 3's back gate. Is he going to make a move going into 3? Yes, he is. Christopher with the bottom shot, and they race side by side through 3 and 4. Mike Christopher Jr. comes out ahead.
He sure does. Michael Christopher Jr. picking up where he left off 1 week ago. Christopher moves into the lead. Bid for 2nd now. Talman is on the outside. Flannery is there. Takes it in deep, trying to make the move. While that's happening, battle for the final transfer position for the handicap as well.
Moeller just took that last spot to transfer from Wesley Prucker, so he runs 5th as there's just half a lap to go. Christopher in the lead after starting in 6th. He's pulling away from everybody in the final 2 corners.
No question about it. Michael Christopher is back in winning form here at Stafford. He will take down this qualifying win. Anthony Flannery will finish in 2nd. Troy Talman is 3rd. Noah Corner, great run for 4th. Andrew Moeller will take the final transfer spot. And Wesley Prucker and Tyler Hines will be out of the handicap, but by their run in qualifying, they won't be back there for long in the main event.
They showed some speed. It's just a really competitive field where over 2/3 of the field has speed. So we'll see what adjustments they can make before the feature tonight. Want to mention for those watching on Facebook and YouTube, if you want to watch the rest of tonight's events, tune in to FloRacing and enjoy the rest of our heat races and our 5 features, including the Midstate Site Development Street Stock 30-lap special event to cap off your Friday night.